Heather. It's been a couple weeks since I've seen you. Do you want to tell me what's been going on?
Well, you know how I was having money problems?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I decided to get another job.
Okay.
So now I have 2 full-time jobs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's been really hard. Well, I guess one of them isn't really full-time. It's like 30 hours, but it just still feels like a lot. So yeah, I mean, I did it to get money, but it just doesn't, I mean, it's helping, but I don't know, it's kind of rough.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a lot on your plate right now from getting that second job.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell me kind of what an average day looks like for you now that you do have that second job?
Yeah. Well, I get up at, okay, so if I answer my alarm correctly, I get up at 6:30. Sometimes it tends to be more close to 7. And then I leave the house by 8. So I get to work. I work there until, I'm not sure, just 1 or 2, kind of depends. And then I go to my other job until 8 o'clock. And then I work at my first job and on the weekends also.
Wow. So with that second job, it sounds like your days are pretty filled from the morning, the minute you wake up till you get home at night.
Yeah, I mean, when I get home at night, I just barely have time to take a shower and to play with my cat for a little while and eat and, you know, straighten up, do the things around the house that you kind of do to keep it running.
Yeah. And so how do you feel like for yourself you've been handling the added kind of pressure and chaos of that second job?
I don't know that I've been actually handling it very well.
Okay.
So I think that might be part of the problem. I mean, I just feel like I run around all of the time and I don't ever get anything done and I can't give 100% to anything.
Okay. So kind of what I'm hearing is you feel like you've stretched yourself so thin, so you're giving maybe 20% here, 20% here, and you're not able to give your full self or effort or energy to everything that you have going on.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what is it about your second job or just everything in general that's been most difficult for you?
Well, I mean, all of it is really hard. My second job I don't feel really confident at, and I think that's really bothering me because I'm not used to that feeling.
Okay, so you're feeling maybe a little defeated with yourself because it sounds like you're typically very confident in your work, and the things that you do in this new job is maybe something new that you have going on.
Yeah, it's way different than anything that I've ever done before, and it's just different, and I'm not used to feeling like I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
So then I get nervous and I don't remember everything that I'm supposed to remember there.
Okay, so kind of what I'm hearing is you feel like that lack of confidence is causing you to not be as successful as you could be at your second job.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And kind of tell me about some things that you've tried maybe recently to help you improve your confidence or work on some of the new skills that you have going on at your new job.
Well, we have these lists of, it's all these acronyms that we have to memorize, and we have all of these lists of things, and I don't have all of them memorized, and I think that's part of the problem because I just get really nervous if I get put on the spot. So I've been trying to study those more and trying to get to know them better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so kind of going back to earlier in the conversation, your days are pretty filled up throughout the week, and then you mentioned on the weekend you're also working a little bit too. When have you found time to kind of study those terms, or have you found time to do that?
I mean, at my other job sometimes.
Okay. Well, and I think that's something that, you know, you're very busy, and that shows a strength in yourself. You're being resourceful and doing what you can to get that study time in. So if you look at your schedule, is there a time during the week or on the weekend that you've identified as a good time to maybe study some of those terms?
I guess I could do some studying on Maybe Sunday night might be a good time for me to do that.
Okay. And what do your Sundays typically look like?
Excuse me. Well, my first job has a lot of take-home work, I guess I would call it. So usually on Sundays, I spend the whole day from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed doing that makeup work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in order to feel more confident in your skills at your second job, how many hours a week do you think would be reasonable for you to study?
Maybe an hour on Sundays.
Okay. And that sounds, with your schedule, it sounds like an hour is probably the most realistic amount of time that you would be able to fit into that already very busy schedule.
Yeah.
Are you, when you plan things out, are you somebody that likes to write things down, or how do you keep yourself organized?
Yeah, I like to write things down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to add that hour of studying on Sundays, is that something that you would write into your planner from a certain time to make sure that's kind of an allotted time during your day, or how would you be most successful with that?
I think probably the way that might work best for me is if I wrote out myself a schedule for the whole day.
Yeah.
So like wake up at 8, go take a shower, do these things, and then just schedule a time to do that, and then sort of try to keep that time.
Okay. And it sounds like you're really organized, and you kind of know what works best for you, so that's something that you should feel really proud of.
Yeah, thanks.
And so with today being Saturday, do you think it's realistic for you to maybe find an hour tomorrow to study a little bit?
I mean, I think I can. Yeah, I wasn't planning on it, but I bet if I took an hour tonight to try to figure out like a good schedule for tomorrow,
yeah,
I bet I can do that. Yeah.
Okay. And this week, if you can't find an hour, this may even be a good week to do maybe like a trial period, even if it's 15 or 30 minutes. That may be something that would be helpful.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So it sounds like you really want to work on some of those skills with your second job by adding an hour on the weekends to studying them, just so you can feel a little bit more confident in your skills when you're there. So if you were to start this studying, what kind of studying has worked for you in the past? What has made you successful in memorizing terms or acronyms, like you say?
Yeah. I usually have to say it out loud.
Okay.
So I usually just repeat it to myself like a crazy person over and over and over again. And then I just quiz myself out loud.
Okay. Are you a visual, like do you write them down and then read them, or what's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anyone in your class that at your second job, that you can work on these things with, or is that something you do on your own?
I probably have to do it on my own, but I might be able to get my sister to help quiz me.
Okay.
I bet she would probably do that.
Okay. So it sounds like for you, saying things out loud is really what instills that into your memory. So even if it is just you at home saying them out loud to yourself, or your sister coming over, that you think that may help you be more successful at memorizing them?
Yeah, I really think that would help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being not confident at all and 10 being completely confident, how confident do you feel in your ability to take this time to study so you can memorize what you need to?
I'm pretty confident, really. I mean,
Okay.
I think that was a good idea we talked about. Probably a 7 and 8. Yeah.
Okay. And so that's pretty high up there. So what do you think it would take for you to move your confidence from that 7 or 8 to maybe a 9?
Probably just do it.
Yeah.
Like do it a couple times in a row, or maybe even just check it off the first time.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, okay, I can do this. And then I'll just, see how good it was, and then that should work out, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a plan, and you feel fairly confident in that, and maybe just a couple weeks of those Sundays, practicing those terms will kind of get your confidence maybe to a 9 or even a 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming in today. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about or address or anything before we end today?
No, I feel pretty good, honestly. I think having that study time will really help raise my confidence.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. So how do you feel about maybe checking in next week around the same time, either Friday or Saturday, just to see how the study time went for you?
Oh, yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Thank you, Heather.
Thanks.